You are bold, you are fearless, you are radiant. It's time to unlock the diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Blaque Diamond, and today with me on our Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Jo Elizabeth Pinto. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You are so welcome. Do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself before we jump right on in?
Well, I am an author and a mother and a braille proofreader. I live in Colorado and I have written 5 books. I'm about to publish my 6th book. I have also appeared in some anthologies. I've been published now for 10 years. I've been writing ever since I figured out that words could be written down. But I have been published for 10 years and I've been proofreading Braille for about 30, almost 30 years.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
kind of the short version.
Mm-hmm. Hey, wow. So you've written a lot and published a lot of books. So I'm also an author as well. So
Oh,
I have written and published, and I actually self-published, which I did an episode on self-publishing for those who were
well, I
interested in.
self-published also. All of my books are Amazon. I
Mm-hmm.
really love that route because you have absolute control over
Yes, that's why
every
I
aspect of the
chose to go
book.
the self-publishing route. So I have published 14 books to date.
Wow,
Number 15 is coming out this month. And then I've also co-authored 4 books.
that's awesome. You have me outdone.
And I write in many different genres. So I
I do
write
too.
children's literature, I do poetry, I do nonfiction, I do romance, erotica. I write a little bit of everything.
I
So
have two, let's see, one contemporary novel, 2 young adult novels. One of my young adult novels is a family novel, and the one coming out is a young adult romance. And then I have 1 book of poetry and 2 memoirs.
mhm.
So I'm kind of all over the place.
Yes, I actually just released my first memoir in April, and that's the book that's been getting me like all the recognition that I've been getting lately, and everybody's been, reading my story and my journey. Because it was actually my first. So I won an international award for that book. It was an International Impact Book Award.
That's
Um,
exciting.
back in July, and so yeah, and actually on what day was that? October 5th. I actually just joined a book club who actually featured my book for their book of the month, and then I did like a live Q&A session with the members, and it was really great. Like the feedback, the everything I got from everyone, it was really really good. So I really
I need
enjoyed,
to talk
having
to you
that
afterwards
time.
so I can feature that on my author page. Um, my first book won an international award. Oh, that was years ago, but that book was a contemporary book about 5 young men who navigated their lives in the projects and moved toward stability. It was about mentoring and second chances and
Hmm.
resilience. And that book won an Indie Award and also a SIPA award for the Colorado Publishers Association. And so that was really exciting.
I can imagine because I love it. I've won 4 awards for my books as well. So 2 children's awards for my children's picture books, and then 1 award for my second poetry collection, and then my first memoir. So definitely it brings you a sense of pride to know that not only do you enjoy what you write, but other people do as well, and you're being rewarded by it.
Right. I'm venturing into children's books. I'm working on one now about a little free library that got stolen, and then they found it and it got fixed up and don't is a little free library again. So that's been exciting. I don't know when that one will come out because it's still in the very early stages, but um I'm really jazzed about working on that project. So I'm all
Mhm.
over the place. I'm not one of these authors that can just pick one genre and stick to it.
Exactly. I love that I'm so versatile and that, yeah, my writing is eclectic. Whatever I'm, thinking or feeling or, it's just, yeah, I can write a little bit of everything. So when exactly did you start writing? So was it always like a childhood dream or was it something you developed later as an adult or what made you get into writing?
Well, I remember my dad was reading aloud to me on the couch one night. I don't think I had started school yet, even. And he was reading to my sister and I a book about Osceola, the Indian chief in Florida who kept the Seminole people down there on their land, or he tried anyway, while the government was trying to remove them. And this was way back in the 1800s, and he was reading the book and he got to the end, and I was sad that the story was over, and he said, well, we could always turn it around and start it again, not tonight, but we could do it another time. And I kind of had this aha moment that words were something that you could keep and save and enjoy again and again, and I thought I want to do that.
Mhm.
And so that kind of began something. And then when I learned how to write braille in school, I would start writing words down, words that I liked, and particularly animals, I remember. And then as I got older, I would write stories in school because the teacher didn't always know what I was writing.
Mhm.
And so when I was
Having a
supposed to
secret
be
note.
doing math or spelling or something I didn't particularly enjoy, I would be writing stories. And so it
Mhm.
was a childhood thing, poetry and stories. And then I had a short story assignment in high school, and I sort of met these characters. And I wrote a short story about them, and I got an A, and it wasn't very well written because you don't really write well in high school. But these characters captivated me and I couldn't really forget them. And so I put the story away in a scrapbook and went on with my life. And then in the 90s, computers came along and they were DOS and they were kind of glorified typewriters. But I
Mhm.
needed to learn how to use them. It was word perfect back then. And so I got this story out because I needed a big chunk of text to work with. And so I typed it in and it was pretty awful. But the characters were alive and I remembered them. And so I cut and pasted and moved stuff around and deleted and added and learned how to use the computer, but I also improved the story just by working on it. And so I showed it to my husband at the time, and he said, you can't leave those kids like that. What happens to them? And so I started thinking, well, what if? And at the time, we were living in some pretty rough neighborhoods because he had Lou Gehrig's disease, which he had gotten after we got married. He was very strong and he snowshoed in the winter and hiked in the summer and fixed cars and did all kinds of stuff. And then after we got married, he fell ill.
Mhm.
And it turned out to be Lou Gehrig's disease, and it was very tragic. But we also didn't have any money because it took him 2.5 years to get diagnosed, and you don't get anything until you have a diagnosis.
Mhm.
And so we were the stable adults in some pretty rundown places. And there weren't that many parents around because they were either working or off doing crazy things. And so we helped with homework and patched up skinned knees and gave out relationship advice. And I took a few girls to labor classes at the hospital. And we did a lot of things that adults
Mhm.
do. And so a lot of it was fiction, but a lot of that mentoring went into my first book.
Okay.
Because we need to be there for kids in our lives other than our own if this world is going to work. We just do. Our neighbors and our nephews and our kids that we see at the bus stop, and we have a responsibility. Not all full time, maybe, but you need to hand out jackets and you need to see those kids and talk to them and reach out and bake cookies maybe with some of them or volunteer at the library or at least just smile at them and let them know that they're not alone. Instead of just sitting around bitching about the teenagers and how the crime rate is going up, and otherwise we get the world we deserve.
Yes.
And so I put the book down and picked it up and put it down as life was the way it was. And it took me till I was in my 40s to publish that book
Oh,
because
wow.
my mom died suddenly of cancer about 10 years ago. And I thought, you know what? I don't know how much time I have on this planet because it was sudden. And I thought I better get off my butt and do something. And so I published the book. I finally just kicked it out of the nest because you can pick at a book forever,
Oh, yeah.
and just fuss with it and, oh, it's not good enough and I don't know and should I and maybe I should edit it one more time and I don't know. Finally, I just kicked it out of the nest and it was well received. And so then what happened is I had a child, and there's a lot of people that don't think a blind mom should raise a child. And you get a lot of pushback. And so I decided to publish a memoir called Daddy Won't Let Mom Drive the Car, True Tales of Parenting in the Dark, that is not an education book about how we change diapers and how we keep track of our kids, because there's enough of that stuff out there. It's more of an adventure, sort of vignettes about me and my daughter that get people laughing and relating to us as people so that maybe they can see that disability might change a few logistics, but we're not as different as they think we are.
Exactly.
And I was hoping that book might get into the hands of social workers and nurses and doctors and teachers and parents. And it's done okay, but it hasn't. I was hoping some of the blindness organizations might take an interest in it and help me get that into the hands of people who need to see it. And that's not really happened as much as I had hoped, because they are hard to penetrate. So, anyway, then the pandemic came along, and I saw that people were having a hard time. So I wrote a gratitude memoir about how gratitude is a choice. And it's like getting enough sleep or eating right. Being grateful is a health conscious choice.
It is.
And then
Definitely.
I wrote a volume of nature poetry because I had stopped writing poetry for 25 years because I got a really bad critique from a professional poet who said that my poetry was too predictable and too easy to understand. And so I stopped writing. And then I got encouraged by my writers group that people like easy to understand poetry. So I did that. And then I wrote a young adult kind of family story because, did you find it? I found a story another story I had written in high school in my garage in a notebook, and sort of took that one and saw where it went, and I published that one for young adults. And now I'm about to publish a young adult romance because I went to a writers conference and was asked by a publisher to write one, and I had never written romance or even read romance, but I bought a book on Audible on how to write romance and followed the directions and came out with a pretty nice story. And the publisher almost published it, but it didn't quite make the final cut, so I'm going to publish it myself, and that will come out maybe in November, hopefully, if the cover gets done. So there we are.
Well, all right. So, so you have mentioned that you are blind. Were you born blind, or did you lose your sight later?
I was born premature, and I have retinopathy of prematurity, which is basically my retinas were damaged in the incubator. That saved my life. So essentially, I was born blind, or it happened in the first few months.
Okay. And do you think you being blind has helped or hindered your writing career?
I think it helps me use my other senses a lot in my writing. My writing is very sensory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, I write with disability as sort of a theme that runs through my stories. My stories are not about disability necessarily, but there are disabled characters in the cast of a lot of my stories.
Mm-hmm.
They don't always play the lead, but they're there. And what I like to say is that I want disabled characters to just be a normal part of the stories,
Mm-hmm.
playing normal roles, because we need to see more disabled characters just being themselves, not being heroes, not being damsels in distress, just being people who exist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always put people with disabilities in roles where they belong, not necessarily as tropes, but just as people living their lives.
Yep, I completely understand that. I myself haven't really, well, so my book that's coming out this month, and it's actually just in time for Meet the Blind month. So it is a children's book for probably ages maybe 6 to 8, because I usually write books based on my son's age and development, where he is in his reading and learning journey. So he's 6 going on 7, but this is my first disability related book, I guess you would say, because it is called Braille's Superpower. And it is about a little girl whose name is Braille, and she happens to be blind.
Oh, I think I've seen an ad for that book, or have you mentioned that book on
Yeah,
Facebook? Because I
I
think I've
have.
seen that.
Yes. And so basically the whole point, because my son, of course, he's had a blind mom his whole entire life. But when I meet like his classmates and things, and they'll ask me questions, what's that stick for? Or, why are you wearing sunglasses? Or, things like that. So I figured, since he's at that age and children are curious, I would rather come up with a creative way to explain blindness to a young child. So I did it under the guise of it's superhero day, and everyone comes dressed as their favorite superhero, but Braille comes dressed as herself. And then she spends the day teaching her classmates and also her teacher, what it means to be blind, not from a specific standpoint of, okay, blind people do this, blind people do that, but as a more generalized, here are some of the tools blind people use. This is what a cane is for, sighted, kind of. And I did like some um I guess you would say definitions. So, like, I explained what sighted guide was. I explained, how blind people use computers, different things, just at a young child's level, to help them
Right.
understand what a blind person can and cannot do and things like that. And so I'm excited about that. Like, my son, he's like, he can't wait. Like, he's always proud to tell everybody I'm his mom. Like, he looks at me like a super like I'm his superhero. Even
Right. My
though his
daughter
dad isn't
was like that
blind,
when
his sisters aren't
she
blind, or
was that age.
mhm.
I haven't been to school with her, I don't think, since she was in elementary school. But when that's how the title of my book, Daddy Won't Let Mom Drive the Car, got its name, because when she was in the second grade, kids were teasing her because we walked everywhere and their parents picked them up in cars most of the
Mhm.
time. And so I took my guide dog to school and showed them what service dogs were about, and we sat on the rug and they got to ask questions. And the teacher asked her, "What's it like having a blind mom?" And she said, "Oh, it's just like having a regular mom, except Daddy won't let her drive his car." It was great. And so that's where the title of that book came from. because I thought that was just the most perfect answer I had ever heard.
Yeah. What
And
was her
so,
teacher's response?
uh and so I guess I went to school with her till about the fifth grade, and then she got a little less. Well, when they get to be about teenagers, they don't want to have their mom tagging along everywhere, and that's understandable.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
Oh
definitely
yeah,
going to
I tag
enjoy the
along.
years while I can.
She's still, I'm still, she still likes me more than a lot of kids like their moms, I guess.
Hmm.
We still have a pretty good relationship most of the time.
I'm going to enjoy my time while I can because right now my son lives and breathes his mom. Like he
Yeah,
don't want
well,
me
they
out of
do.
his
When they're
sight.
little kids like that, you're their hero.
I'm going to enjoy it while I
You,
can
you
because I
enjoy
know there's
that.
going to come a
Enjoy that.
time where
Soak it up.
he's going to be like, Mom, like,
Yeah.
no.
Soak that up. Because that doesn't last.
Even though he says he's not, because we do a lot of play acting and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, when you get a girlfriend, it's gonna be like, Mom, who? And then you just gonna kick me to the side for your new. He was like, no, I'm not. You're gonna come. I'm like, no, I'm not. You gonna be like,
Yeah. It's going to be Mom
yeah.
who? Mom, what?
I was like, you just telling me that now, but just wait. So outside of writing and publishing, what other things are you into?
Oh, do I have a life? Geez, I have to think about that. Well, um, my kitchen is my happy place. I don't like day to day cooking, like trying to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner every day. That gets
Hmm.
old. But I like trying new things. I like baking something new, um, or trying something new for a potluck or something. That kind
Hmm.
of cooking. And if
Okay.
I'm really stressed about something, my kitchen is where I go and kind of
Hmm.
decompress. Or my family knows that if I'm really aggravated, I'll start cleaning something,
Hmm.
and they know that if the kitchen is sparkling, Mama's not happy. It doesn't happen all that often. I mean, my house would not receive the good housekeeping seal, which I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. You might be too young to know what that is, but they used to have this good housekeeping seal of approval that was
Hmm.
on like certain cleaning products and cooking products and stuff. But yeah, but if everything's sparkling clean, they're like, "Uh-oh, what I do?" And
Wow.
I used to like to garden and grow plants and stuff, but our house is not, the house we moved into now is not good for growing plants.
Hmm.
So I grew tomatoes outside this year on, my dad built me like a raised bench,
Hmm.
and so I grew tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff. And that was nice. Yeah, but I haven't watered them anymore, so they're all dried out
Oh no.
because things got hairy and I just let them go.
Oh, okay. So, do you have any authors that inspire your writing style, or your writing, genres, or anything like that?
I like some of the older authors. John Steinbeck, The Grapes of Wrath really shaped my worldview about
Hmm.
equality, and people deserve to be respected and treated well and have a living wage and all that. James Herriot, his whole vet stuff and animal stuff and all that. Um, I like a lot of those kind of writers. I haven't read so much. I have a huge list of audio books that I'm going to get to someday.
Hmm.
But I'm a proofreader. And so by the time I get done working, it's hard for me to read because my
Hmm.
brain is full.
Yes.
And so, like I said, I have a huge list of books that I might not get to till I retire, which will be after I'm dead. So, I don't know. it's hard to read it. And I want to. Like I said, I have an audio subscription and I keep piling them up.
Yeah, I read a lot. Actually, I read for the first time in a long time. I would have to say Sunday when I got back from the pageant that I was a part of. So while I was on the plane, I actually started reading a book because my music would not work due to no Wi-Fi. So I'm like, okay, I have 2 hours on this flight. Do I have anything that I can listen to keep myself occupied until,
Right.
I land? And so I was like, you know what? I think I have some books in my Audible library that are already pre-downloaded on my phone. Let's go through some of these and find one. So I did. And like now I've started back reading every day now because I was always the type that either I'm listening to music or I'm listening to an audiobook because I prefer audiobooks.
Yeah, I
For
do too.
Kindle and all that because I hate them being interrupted. Because when I'm in a zone, I'm in a zone. When I'm cleaning, when I'm cooking, when I'm showering, like I like to listen to music or listen to books.
I'm
And
a big
so
music person.
yeah, I'm both. And they just kind of put me in the zone, and I like to put my headphones on, and I just go into my own little world.
See, I
And
can't do
so,
headphones because I don't like people coming up on me.
mhm,
And so I've always been averse to headphones because my dad and my brother used to scare me a lot when I was a
mhm.
kid. So I can't stand people coming up on me.
Oh
So I
wow.
have to have my ears open, and so I just and nobody would do that in my family now, but
Mhm.
I just because I kill them. They know that. I, I have a mean right hook, but but I can't do it. So I have to play the book out in the room, which I can't
Mhm.
really do if people are home because they're watching football or doing
Yeah, and
something.
that's why I like to have my headphones in so I won't be disturbed by the kids or my significant other or anything else that anybody else is playing because they like to play tablets loud, phones loud. Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, I just want to be in my own little world. So you know what? I can't do like in ear headphones because my ear canals are really small and they cause me to have frequent ear infections.
Mm.
So I do use my meta glasses.
I need to
Um,
check those out. I need to
as
check into those.
my headphones.
I got to try a pair of those glasses at a restaurant. Somebody had
I
them,
love
and
them.
I really need to check into those.
Yeah, I really love them.
Oh, I'm sure they're expensive, but I need to check
Yeah,
them out.
they're about $300 a pair.
Oh, they've come down.
Yeah, some of them can be a little bit more priced. It just depends on which one. Like if you want the transition lenses, or so it does depend
Well, I don't have
on.
any eyes, so they could put plastic lenses in. It wouldn't matter to me. But
Mhm. All right. Well, we have come to my favorite part of the show. It's where we play What's She Thinking? So I give you five random phrases. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't have to think too
uh-oh.
hard about it. Just something fun to kind of get to know you.
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
All right. So your first one, writing is.
Something I have to do so my head doesn't explode.
I love it. I love it. All right, your next one is give me chocolate with my
Coffee.
give me chocolate with my coffee. Oh wow.
My daughter says you're mean without coffee.
Okay. All right. Sundays make me feel
Relaxed.
relaxed. Okay. Yeah, that's my day off, so yes.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
sleep I sleep half of Sundays.
I work on Saturdays, but I get Sundays off. All right. So your fourth one is going to be color my
Sorry.
days.
With sunshine. I love the sun.
Yes, me too.
Get a
All
towel, clean
right.
it up.
And your last one is talk to me about, and I'll listen.
Oh, talk to me about New Mexico.
And I'll listen.
And I'll
Okay.
listen. I love New Mexico. Now, I would go down there and live in a heartbeat.
Oh, wow.
But my family's not real keen on that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I vacationed down there, was it last summer or the summer before? And it felt like going home.
Wow.
Maybe someday.
All right. So, is there any last words you have for listeners? Any social media, websites, anything you would like people to reach out to you on or follow you to check out any of your books?
Well, my website is www.brightsideauthor.com. And my social media is, oh geez, what's my social media? Jo Pinto. What is my social media? I'd have to shoot. I might have to give it to you and have you add it in. Is that okay?
Yes, I can add it in the show notes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you because I'm drawing a blank. It's because I had to change it. It's Brightside Author, but
Mhm.
I think it's.
I know that is your Facebook. I wasn't sure if you
Yeah,
were
it is my
on
Facebook. It's
other
also
platforms.
yeah, I sent it to you before. I just
Mhm.
can't remember. But my website is brightsideauthor.com.
Okay.
I'm also on Amazon and Audible.
Mhm. And so, are you listed as Jo Elizabeth Pinto as your author name?
Yes, my first book is under J.E. Pinto, but my other ones are all under Jo Elizabeth Pinto.
Okay.
And they're all linked together. I'm on Goodreads. I'm everywhere.
Mhm. Well, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Miss Pinto, for joining me today, and thank you everyone for listening to another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. Also, visit our website at bffempowermentpodcast.com. If you would like to be spotlighted on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, send us an interest email to bffempowerment@gmail.com. Also, follow us on social media at BFF Empowerment Podcast. We are on Facebook, Threads, YouTube, Instagram, and also TikTok. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
BFF, we rise above, stronger together we shine.